directly from the Sunshine State in Florida. Welcome back to another warm-up show with the co-host, Coach Frenchie. And we have to go all the way to the north to find our co-host, Mr. ENORTAP, in the house.
Hello, Coach, and hello, Hockey Nation. Another big night of hockey tonight, Coach.
Happy, thankfully, day Thursday. It's another great day on the week, sir. It's March 24, 2022, and we are ready to rock and roll another great night in the NHL. Mr. ENORTAP, the Montreal play tonight at 7 o'clock, but we have 9 other games for a total of 10 games tonight. So a lot of action, 20 teams, and we're going to getting more action this weekend. Adding Saturday, we have 12 games also. And we are about 36 days before the end of the season, and that's getting very close. 1 week before the end of the March, and we're getting there. We're going to talk one more time, and my son says, "Oh, we are almost at the end of the season." But until then, we'll see how this works, everybody. We have a few people already in the house. I'm talking about Miss.
You are awesome.
Kelly, welcome back. Thanks for us. Mr. Solar, welcome, hello. Mr. Solar. A long time we didn't see you. Last time we see you a couple of days ago. Mr. Solar, welcome back. From Finland, the insider of the Hockey Nation, I show directly from European, Mr. Jarmo Virtanen.
Hello, Jarmo. Moi.
The number 1 fans of the Boston Bruins. Welcome back, Mr. Ross Stubbington.
Hi, Ross.
And everything is big over there. Everything is big over there. I'm talking about, of course, Mr. Joseph LANHAM.
Welcome, Joseph.
And the new moderator of the insider of the Hockey Nation Show. Welcome back, Mr. Danny T.
Hey, welcome, Danny.
And we are Mr. directly from upstate New York, close to Niagara Falls, Mr. Jose DUARTE.
Hello, Jose. Welcome.
And we are back. A long time we did not see our best friend, one of the friends, Daryl Adams at 331. Welcome back in the house today.
Hi, Daryl.
We don't know yet. Daryl's he skated for the last 2 days, and then suddenly he did not skate yesterday, so I don't know he was on the ice today. So Daryl, we expect him to be maybe possible be closed at the beginning of April. Daryl, will be interesting if Carey Price be on the road with the team leaving Sunday for the 1 week. The Montreal will be on the road next week, so possible Carey Price to join the team will be something to follow up for sure, Daryl. And we have Mr. DIXON Automobile Group in the house.
Hi, Dixon. Welcome.
Welcome back, Mr. Dixon and Mr. Jose Richard Mullen. And Toronto tonight for a show, Mr. as the standing comic. Richard is in Toronto tonight. Congratulations, my friend. Enjoy your show tonight.
You should have told us, Richard. I would have came to see you.
Yeah, that's the way you should tell the people when you have their show. Maybe you can sell some ticket live here. Who knows what could happen. And we have Dawson Sports Center. Welcome back, Mr. Dawson.
Welcome, Dawson.
And we have Nicholas. Wow, Nicholas is back in the house. Nicholas, I think we missed you last game, but hopefully see you tonight. Watching the Montreal Canadiens, the Carolina Hurricane, a big game for the fans players tonight. And we have Mr. John Lowry with the St. Louis Blues play tonight. Big game for them. We'll see how they work. I think they have Ottawa.
Yeah, I think so. No, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Here we go. Welcome back, John and Nicholas. And Renaud, welcome back aboard. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Welcome, guys.
And he said, go Blues, Mr. John, about that one over there. Nick, Renaud, ask you this question. How should the CH move on from Gallagher until keeping his honor?
Well, I think Renault, from what I'm hearing, a lot of the talk has been, how Martin St. Louis can perhaps change Gallagher's game a little bit, because if for him to continue the style of play that he's played all these years takes quite a physical toll on him, and he's not a big guy, obviously. So, um, he has to sort of reinvent himself. So they're in that phase to see how he can be a little bit more productive, play maybe a bit of a smarter game, and not so much, right to the net and get banged down all the time. So that's going to be the challenge, I think, the rest of the year and also moving into next year. If they can achieve that, I think he'll end his career here in Montreal, is my belief. If he can't do that, then it's going to have to be revisited again this time of the year next year when it's free agency time.
I still believe, first of all, the Montreal Canadiens, the organization, the staff, the management, and the player love Gallagher.
Yeah, absolutely.
They love it. It's the fans that's not like, because a lot of fans only looking for the player with the salary. That's the only thing they're looking. They don't look what he accomplished in the past, what he is, what he does. They just say, oh, well, but he has $6.5 million. That's the only thing they see. If they don't score, oh, he has $6.5 million. Next year, the same conversation is going to be with Zuski. If Zuski doesn't produce, now you say, oh, see, yeah, $8 million over there. It's easy to point at players with a salary cap.
Yeah.
But the details of what he does, the way he talk inside the locker room, the way he take care about Lekonen when he show up in Montreal, the way he take care about the young guests like Justin Barron, those kind of stuff like that, we don't see that. And the fans don't realize those stuff like that. They only see the performance that say, he don't score, he's not good. He's not score, trade him.
And also the things he does in the community. Like, we're not always privy to that, and he has done quite a bit.
Yep. At my point, if you keep him at the third line at 13 minutes, if you turn that, that's perfectly a great over there. He does an amazing. I don't care about the money. If you can put on the role, specific role with the Montreal Canadiens, he is so much better to Joel Armia, those friends like this, everything like that. He bring more at those stuff like that. I think that's the way you choose about this. Renault, he believe Pesada is worth more at the CH que Gallagher. Pesada play 8 minutes, 6 minutes, Renault. Why? Why you don't use him 14 minutes?
Totally different players too. I mean,
yep.
You can't really compare the two. Pesada, he's if he gives you 10 minutes, that's great. He's an energy guy, absolutely. He also gives 100%, just like Gallagher does. But the skill set, you can't compare them.
No. Again, Renault, what Pesada does inside the locker room? How Pesada can bring leadership inside the locker room? What Pesada accomplished in NHL? It's like we don't give any credit for those players. Give their heart, their bodies for the Montreal Canadiens. And we're now, just because he have a bad right, we're ready to put him out of the team like that. I don't know. How can you build a team with Michael Pesada? It just not make sense to me. Michael Pesada cannot accomplish what the 99.9 players in NHL. He's not a player that way over there. He have a specific role. Pesada play 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Yeah, that's it. He cannot play 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes. Obviously, he cannot. His skate is below average, right? And he's just there. He's not he's not a guy like Nicolas Deslauriers. He's not a guy like MICHEL. He's limited by his skill, by talent, and what he got. That's the reality behind that. Whatever you want to put him, with the heart he has, is not the same level what he is right now. He took advantage of what Montreal is.
Yeah, Coach, I've told you this story before. I've seen Pesada since the time he was about 13 years old. I've seen him play. He's a great kid. He'll go through a wall for you, and we're starting to see that. But he's very replaceable with the team. Right now, he's up because he gives you that energy. He's the only one that really can fight and should be fighting. He shouldn't be an Anderson going out there and fighting, but he'll be replaced by guys like Arbor, Jack-Eye, Fairbrother, MEILLEURE when he comes up. These guys are all kids that can play the game and they can also fight.
I know he said Steve want to cheer for the Italian name. I don't know, just go to see the soccer team. The Montreal Impact and soccer team, they have an all-Italian and the Belarus and all kind of stuff like that, Mexican players. That's how you can share those names about that. Alexandre CHL prospect game last night was great. Nathan Gaucher was a very good one. And Savoie is so fast impressive. You have a lot of great articles about Mathieu Savoie. I did not read all the way, but it was great to talk about him today. Those, we don't see about that one there. By the way, I have something about Caden Cooley. I would try to bring today if I have a chance.
Okay.
About that one over there. If he cannot be French, Italian, the next best option for the CH is marketing. I agree. Too much focus on the cap. The new management can take care of that. I really hope Gary can involve comply. He's smart enough to learn new things. And again, if they have a good offer for for Gallagher, they will trade him. They know they have to shred their salary cap. They understand that part over there. But for me, Gallagher is more worth it at Petrie on every aspect of the game and inside the locker room, outside the locker room, everything like that. So if you can drop of them, I believe they have to drop at least $10 million. I think if you don't touch Gallagher, Price and Weber example, right? And I don't consider Weber inside of that one. So like a Gallagher, Drouin, Hoffman, Petrie, all right, those four there right there. They can get two of them out and maybe add Army over there at the bottom, 5, 6 over there, 5, 6. But that will helping the salary cap to $10 million. That's how you're going to turn around after that. But that is not going to be easy for that, for sure.
This summer, I think we'll see 2 of those probably gone.
Yep. Mr. Alan Barnes, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Welcome, Alan.
Some people were now all in the game as PlayStation, Luigi and Mario. So hopefully Mario, I always love Mario when I play. And maybe we'll go together. By the way, we have a Spoiler G next week, Mr. ENORTAP, 12 o'clock Thursday, March 31st. He's going to talk about the prospect. Spoiler G is a great writer on the sport. And he does baseball, and he's in the Philadelphia area.
Philadelphia,
and we got him like 1 year ago. Like in February last year, the beginning of March. And I talked to him today, and he said, we'll be there next week. So I'll be interested to have him aboard next 12 o'clock p.m. Next week. He's going to talk about different things. He knows a lot of prospects, so that'd be good to have those. So hopefully some of you are going to join our show. We'll ask a question to him. And honestly, it was impressive. The fact, like I said, like we have already 4,000 people, and he said, wow, that's... and 1 year was so it was good to talk to him today and see what happened about that.
That's fantastic.
Gallagher trade will have to be something like that. The check for Neil, they'll expect a taxi contract on return for Gallagher. But is that the case? They're not going to trade Gallagher. They will keep Gallagher in return for that one over there. Scott Wedgwood played tonight for the Dallas Star. Mr. ENORTAP, that looked like a Mario. So that's great. I don't know. Talbot Temco confirmé. Paul Henrik Brack, Aiken, or Al. I'm sorry about that. Alken Brack, welcome aboard. I think we should continue. I think it's the first time for Paul. Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Paul.
I agree with you. I really agree. I agree with Paul about that one with them. Let's go to next year for another high pick. And that would be paid more next year, more of what we can pay this year. Paul, you're absolutely right about that. Ron with Kings 20, welcome aboard.
Hey, welcome, Ron.
Jose said, Coach, do you see 60 goals before the end of the season?
What's he at now? 48?
46, I believe.
So, 46. Okay, so he needs 14 goals, and I think they only have how many games do they have left?
22 game, 23 game. I was telling you, Jose,
Yeah,
no.
it'll be hard.
And
Maybe
the reason why,
55.
because at the last 15th game, everybody prepare for the playoff. You're going to tie game. People ask why the game are so low. Because that's why they prepare. There's no play anymore like open up at the beginning of the season right now. Now they start to prepare for the playoff, and then you can see the system try to starting to play. That's the reason why you have those games 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-3 last, and that's it. So I think that will be a reason about that one. There. You're welcome, Mr. Paul.
I think also the 2-game suspension kind of slowed him down a little bit. It hurt him a bit, but he should be able to hit around 54, 55 in my eyes.
Who could trade for just Taze for the Chicago Blackhawks?
Who could? Which team?
Vegas. Vegas trade everybody.
Yeah, they got cap space. I believe.
Money. I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue what he can get that one. There's a tricky one, right? It's the final of his contract for 1 more year. I believe it's over $11 million. I can recall it. And so it'll be interesting to see that, honestly. Then he's done after that. And they are 35 years old. I'm not surprised me just Jonathan Taze retire.
Yeah, I think he stays in Chicago. Plus, Kane is an easier sell in terms of trading or going to another team, because I think he's still got a lot of talent. He's putting up the points still. But Taze, I think the game caught up to him, the physical play. He's still a very good player, but he's not what he used to be.
Yep, I agree with you about that one over there for sure. It'll be really interesting how this is going happening for sure for the next year for Taze. About that, Mr. ENORTAP, I think it's time. Yes, I feel it's time for you, Mr. ENORTAP, to get this one right away for you. It's time for what? To drop that puck. To drop that puck, Mr. ENORTAP. It's the face-off ENORTAP. What pay his attention the last 24 hours around the NHL. He's going to give us some inside what's happening, and then we're going to move on right away for the prediction of the night with 10 game. We'll try to finish at the right time tonight, a bit earlier. So let's see what Mr. ENORTAP has for us tonight.
Okay, Coach. Well, we only really had 4 games last night, but each one had a little bit of a story to tell. We look at the Toronto, New Jersey game. I think we saw the effects of New Jersey on a back-to-back. Even though they skated well and they were fast, they looked like by the time the late second period came around, and definitely the third, they didn't have the legs to really compete with Toronto, who's also a fast team as well. The story there was the special teams. In this case, the shorthanded goals, the 2 goals that Toronto scored, both on errors and a bad penalty that was called on Hamilton. That's the risk and reward that you have with Dougie Hamilton on your team. It was good. I like the fact that Mrazek really, especially in the first period, really kept the Leafs in there. He made about 3 or 4 very good saves after receiving a lot of bad criticism. So that's sort of what I took away from that game. Then we had, of course, and I was saying this the entire time as we were doing our analysis for the games of the night. I was saying, here's Buffalo. Recently they've beaten good teams, like they've beaten Pittsburgh before. They've beaten Vancouver. They've beaten Calgary. I think they beat the Leafs twice, Minnesota, and Pittsburgh's on a back-to-back, and it's hard to win on a back-to-back. And what do? I go pick Pittsburgh to win that game. It should have I should have gone with my gut there and taken Buffalo. They've been playing some good hockey, getting some solid play from their young players up front. So that's good to see for them. They kind of remind me of Ottawa last year around this time. Ottawa was definitely not a pushover last year, and any team that thought they were going to go in their barn and earn 2 easy points, they had another thing coming. The other game, Vancouver and Colorado. Again, this one kind of really surprised me. I thought Colorado at home should be a no-brainer, really, but especially since Vancouver had lost their previous, like their home stretch, I think was 2-3-2. So it looked like they morale-wise they were down. But give them credit, they came out and they totally dominated that game against Colorado. So that was fantastic, and they did it with Halak, and he made some fantastic saves that kept them in that game. So, and then of course the last game of the night was the Chicago Anaheim. In terms of the standings, not a big thing, but nice to see that Radish scored again, his second goal in Chicago. We also had Kane that contributed as usual. I think he had 3 points last night as well. So great on them to earn those 2 points.
Yep. The whole men show up. Crosby, Kane continues to show up every night, and they do one well. Mr. John Gregor, welcome aboard.
Hi, John.
Mr. Roger Jean, welcome back. Pierre Martin, welcome back, Pierre Martin.
Hey, Pierre.
And we are the winner of the yesterday on the prediction, Mr. Nooner, 4-0 last night. Congratulations.
Nooner. Congratulations.
And we are also Ekel Frank, 86, have a 3-1, and then we have a bunch of people have a 2-2, Mr. ENORTAP, including you, and Steve, Yamo, John, Tani, Kelly, Jose, and Alexis Dubec. Finally, round with Kings, Richard Molin, and Pierre Martin, and Poutine, plus Roland, and finally, Joseph finished with a 1-3. The good news is nobody got 0-4. So that's good news about that. And the right score, Kelly Jean Gregor did it with one right score. And then the fantasy, Jean Gregor with Crosby, 3 point, 1 goal, 2 assists. Awesome. No, 1 goal, 1 assist. Finally, the total goal, Mr. Pierre Martin, 21 of the 22. Congratulations. You are the winner of the last night. So all the winner. Let's see who's going to get those information tonight, who's going to win tonight. So Mr. Back, welcome back. Paul said, hopefully anyone will be get free agency under 25. No, Paul, you cannot be UF free before 26 years old. When you turn 26 at the September 15 every year. So if you don't get that way there, or you don't have a minimum of the play in NHL 3 years. So that's the only way, Paul, you cannot become a UFA. You have other rules, but that's the most about that. That was a coach. Is a rebuild or what the coach you said they're going to top your finisher? Darryl, they said they tried to rebuild, but they tried to speed up the process. So not wait 7 years, not try to get this 5 years to maybe 4 years, 3 years. If you have an opportunity at a UFA to improve the team, to get quicker on the process to become what they're looking for, they will maybe get a UFA. Otherwise, they going to continue to rebuilding the way they want to rebuild about that one over there. They talk about the performance of the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday. Yamo Colorado have a good one period, what I saw. Anthony Manzolo, welcome back.
Hey, Anthony.
Coach ENORTAP, how far are the Panthers ahead in terms of the point where we don't have to worry about losing home ice the first round? It's still too early to have 20 game, Anthony. Right now, they are about like 5 points at that moment, but otherwise, you have to wait a little bit more.
I mean, that battle, Coach, right now for second, third, and fourth is those three teams, 2 points separates them.
Yeah, 5 points, 6 points, 7 points, Anthony. So you still have too early about that, but they are in the right position at that moment for sure. So that's what we at that moment. A question for you, Mr. ENORTAP. Do you prefer to lose against Florida tonight or to lose against Toronto Saturday?
Oh no, I'd rather lose tonight.
All right.
we're
I'm
we're
just
not going to
curious
lose
about that
against
one over there.
Toronto. We're not
About
going
that
to lose
one.
against
Can I
Toronto.
see the self passing them one now? Nicholas said, yes, Buffalo is turning thing around and have a bright future. I think they got the lead and turn it. One game at tight. Merci, you're welcome. Congratulations. Another Buffalo will rise above Toronto. I know. I hope you wear your helmet. You're going to get snapped by people in this chat right now. Just kidding. About that, goaltending could be a shield ill for Avalanche. Moving forward, there's the salute which help. Oh yeah, I got Chicago score. I did not even remember. See, because coach does a great job to see up there.
Yeah.
This time, without Shabbat could help them get less than a minute. Oh, he's 28 on them. Coach, do you guys think even with his off the ice issue, do you think guys still think Coach Gandil has enough accolade to make it as the first Battle Hall of Famer as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think he does. I mean, just from the time he was with Chicago, that team was on the verge of being a dynasty. I think they won over a 5-year period. They won 3 times,
Yep.
and that's all on him in terms of how he developed that team and brought in talent. And as soon as he went to Florida, he was doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. Welcome, Mr. Alexis Dubek. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right, Alan. See you a little bit later. That's not a problem. Whoops, sorry about that. That's my keyboard. Mr. ENORTAP. Because we have a game tonight and people would like to start a little bit earlier because they want to be ready for 7 o'clock. So let's moving right away on the prediction. So it'll be quicker, better, faster, and it'll be ding. Mr.
Okay.
Ron Kings 20, I got your pick by email today, so you don't have to repeat again. That'd be awesome. If you don't mind to get there, that'd be great. So let's dive in right away, Mr. ENORTAP, for the prediction of the night.
No problem. And we'll start with the game that you're going to be doing live tonight, which is Florida Montreal. Florida is really getting set to introduce some of their new toys, that being Giroux and Sherratt and Robert Hagg as well. They're the 3 latest acquisitions that they made at the trade deadline time. It'll be extremely interesting, and it's an opportunity over these next 15 to 20 games to really try different line combinations. But the depth now that Florida has is probably second to none in the league. So imagine, like, if even coach was talking about it before, if at times you put together a Huberdeau, Giroux on the wings, and you have Barkov in the middle when you really need that, that's an amazing possibility of different variations of lineups that you can throw in there. Florida right now, they lead the league in most goals scored, and figures to be even more dangerous now that Giroux obviously adds to that. He's I think in today's practice he was on the first power play lineup. So we'll see if that also takes place tonight. They lead the Atlantic Division now with 90 points. Montreal is in last in the Atlantic with 44 points. So there's quite a gap there. But I don't anticipate the score will reflect that. Of course, we've seen a totally different Montreal team since Ducharme left and St. Louis took over. I think they've gone 9-6-3 since he's come into the fold. But more importantly, it's the culture that he's created and the effort that's being put in on a nightly basis. Like they really have not been blown out of any games. Knock on wood. The only game may have been the Winnipeg game, but 8-4 back a few weeks ago. But that's the only one. Florida beat Montreal, and the only other time that they met this year was 5-2. but that was under the Ducharme reign. I still think Florida will win tonight, but it'll be a much closer game. I think they'll put in an empty net goal and win 4-2.
I was saying, Florida 5-2. We want to welcome Mr. Blackhawk Fan 97. Welcome back.
Welcome, Blackhawk.
About that,
Welcome.
Paul. The Coffee right now is the number 10 on the points for the rookies. I don't think so. He's going to get a nomination. He could maybe get a vote or 2 votes, but not much. At least he scored 20 goals. He maybe get a little bit more vote, but I don't think he's going to get more at that one over there for that part. So I just want to sharing about that one with them. And Alexi, we're going to give you an answer a little bit at the end of the show. Unfortunately, we have to move on to what we have. Thank you.
Sure. The Bruins, they begin a 5-game homestand tonight when they host Tampa Bay. This should be a really good game. Two similarly built teams in terms of the way they approach the game. It's going to be a nice Atlantic Division clash here. The 2 teams are separated by a single point. So Tampa Bay, if they lose this game, could find themselves in 4th place at the end of the night. Brad Marchand really, lifted the Bruins to their 5th win in 6 games after scoring his 2nd goal of the contest against Montreal the other night in overtime, just 34 seconds into overtime. Swayman made about 26 saves to earn his 9th victory in his last 10 starts. The question for Boston will be, Swayman being a rookie, can he perform this in the playoff? So that'll be interesting and a point to look after. Bergeron's back into the lineup themselves. They're trying to now. They're going to have a couple of new faces in Hampus Lindholm, Josh Brown that were picked up, but even the fact that the DeBrusque was not dealt and was given a 2-year extension, helps the Bruins. I think they made some good acquisitions, especially with Lindholm. So I'm going to take here. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Tampa, I know they've had a little bit of a surge in power, but I think that they should win this game 3-2. It'll be tight, maybe an overtime game.
Boston is out. Bergeron is out tonight.
Oh, is he out tonight?
Yep.
He had just come back.
No,
Okay.
he was not cleared by the doctor finally.
Okay. And next game, the Dallas Stars, they want to be a major factor in the final weeks of the season. They know that the playoffs everything is in their hands. Right now, they're in a good position. They're in the wild card position, but of all the teams there, I think they're the ones that have about 2 to 4 games, depending on who you're comparing them to, games in hand. So they can really, if they can navigate themselves and make sure they don't go into any prolonged slump, they should have that wild card position and possibly even higher, depending on how well they do in that time. Carolina's coming off of a rough patch, but it might not be, as bad as it really looks when you consider, even Brenda Moore said that the Hurricanes have played really strong games. It's just that in 4 of the 5 games that they've played, but it's just that they've had some bad luck along the way. They've fallen behind, and they're not a team that has the kind of depth, let's say, a Florida has offensively, or Toronto, that they can get themselves easily back into a game if they fall behind a goal or 2. However, if they get the lead, they're very good at maintaining that lead and closing down the games on opponents. Dallas has won 3 of its last 4 decisions against the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday night was the last. The result became just the first time in 22 games this season that the Oilers scored first and actually didn't win a game. So that was they were pursuing I'll talk about it when we get to Edmonton, but they were pursuing a record there as well. Part of the Stars' success this season included some solid road outings and wins. They're 14, 16, and 2 away from home, which includes in the past month where they've gone 4-2. The Hurricane are welcoming Max Domi into the lineup tonight. The idea here, I think this is one of the teams that he's well suited for, the type of style that he plays, and he also gives them that, hopefully, that added dimension that he can put the puck in the net as well. Great speed, a bit of an edge to him as well. So that's perfect Brenda Moore kind of player. I'm going to take here Carolina to win this game since they're at home by a score of 4-3.
Sound good?
Okay, next Detroit and the Islanders. So the Islanders are going to continue to try and provide what they hope is a sneak preview of things to come for next year when the Red Wings roll into town tonight. Both teams are coming off of wins at home from Tuesday night. The Islanders scored 3 goals in the third period of a 3-0 victory over the Senators. And if you recall, Detroit had a relatively easy time with Philadelphia in that 6-3 game on Tuesday. The win was their, for New York Islanders, was their 7th in the last 10 games. GM Lamoriello there, he indicated his belief that the Islanders' recent surge it's legitimate. It's not a fluke in his eyes. And he verified that by not really doing very much, if anything, at trade deadline time. He's expressed that he has confidence in the team. And then he turned around and he even signed a free agent, pending agent, Cal Cutterbuck and Zach Parise to extensions, just to show his confidence in the team there. New York has allowed the 3rd fewest goals in the NHL this season, has outscored the opposition 34-20 over the last 10 games in the span in which it surrendered more than 3 goals in regulation just once. So they've been as stingy as they were last year at this time. Question is, what's going to happen next year, right, for these guys? If they do change and return back to form, there's only a little bit of tweaking that Lamoriello has to do. If they don't, then he's going to have a much bigger chore ahead of him. The Red Wings enter fresh off of a decidedly different kind of stretch. Detroit's 3-8-1 since the All-Star break, a span in which they've been outscored 57-39, closing out the win over the Flyers after entering the third period with a 4-2 lead. Provided some relief for the Red Wings, but still their game has deteriorated a little bit. I think the Islanders will continue their winning ways here. I'm going to take them to take this game 4-3.
Islanders 4-3, and we welcome Mr. Sean B and Mr. RG back in the house.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. And next, the Flyers, they're going to try to avoid a 14th consecutive road loss when they visit St. Louis tonight. The Flyers, believe it or not, they're still winless on the road in 2022. So that's not a very prestigious record that they're going after, but they find themselves in that position. And given a couple of lengthy losing streaks they had, I mean, they probably can't wait for the season to be over and the rebuild to start. Their last win, as a matter of fact, I think it was against Seattle back in late December. The visit to St. Louis will be the second stop of a 5-game road trip for Philadelphia. Their longest winless road skid occurred last time occurred in, I think it was in the early 70s when they went 0-15-4. So they're definitely on track to get close to that record. The Blues are looking to build off of a strong performance, that 5-2 win on the road against the Washington Capitals. Brendan Saad had 1 goal and 1 assist for the Blues, who have struggled with consistency, really, over the recent games. They've been a hard team to really try to figure out. Just when you think, like, you look at them on paper and you say this is a very deep team and should be doing better than what their record indicates. And by the same token, you look at their record, which is 35-18-9, and it's not bad. It's just that there's a lot of parity, and they've been hit with a lot of injuries and COVID issues. And the latest news, Torrey Krug left the last game with an injury to his hand. I don't know if it was his wrist or his hand, but we still don't know if he's going to be playing tonight. Robert Thomas was also was already out. I think he's close to being back. I'm not 100% sure. Tarasenko also missed a second consecutive game with an illness. So, these things all play into the picture of their inconsistency. They've won only 2 of 9 games before recently rebounding to work their way back into a playoff contention. But I think this should be an easy game for them. I'm going to take them to win 5-2, and for Philadelphia to continue their woes on the road.
Yep. We welcome Mr. Tommy M. Meyer in the house with Nam Ignaro. And I saw...
welcome, guys.
I saw Roland. Welcome back also.
Roland, okay. Welcome.
I maybe missed one, by the way. Robert Thomas, Tarasenko go back on the ice, and Bozak and Korak are out.
Yeah, Bozak, that's right. He's another one that's out. Next we have the Vancouver, Minnesota game. Just when you think Vancouver's kind of out of it, they came up with that impressive win last night. So they're on a back-to-back here, which worries me at this time of the year. Number one, they've also played a few more games, 1 or 2 more games than a lot of the teams that they're chasing. So even though mathematically they're still in a decent position to get themselves into a playoff spot, it's a real tough mountain to overcome here for them, I believe. Throw that together with the fact that Minnesota seems to be getting their act together. I thought they had a great trade deadline report card from my eyes. They addressed 3 definite areas of needs. So it should be interesting how this goes. They obviously, in getting Fleury, you know what you're getting. We saw Delorier the other night contribute, and even defensively, they have some great help.
Super chat.
Super chat.
We're getting there.
I think Talbot still is slated to start this game against Demko, so we won't see Fleury tonight. It's a critical game, right, for both teams. I think Minnesota wants to continue with their winning ways. They played, I thought, the last game an excellent game, especially defensively. I'm going to take them to win this over Vancouver 4-2.
4-2, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Super chat, Mr. Sean B. Rivers. Super chat, Sean B. $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate a lot, Mr. Sean B. And welcome, Mr. Alan Vaillancourt. And we are both of them. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Great work.
And we have to welcome Mr. Alexandre Meilleur, Mr. Richard, Mr. ENORTAP. So thank you so much, all of you.
Well, with the playoff race in full swing, the Jets really can't afford any breaks in their momentum. They started the season extremely well. I think they were 7-2-3, and then after that, they've been pretty much about 500 team, maybe even slightly below, if I recall correctly. They now won 2 in a row, so here's their opportunity to finally string together a three-game winning streak. We'll see if they can do it. I think that they have a favorable matchup in trying to attempt that. They've jumped over a couple teams in the standings as well. So they're only a couple points out of a wild card themselves. The only problem is, I think, everybody's problem, not just Winnipeg, is that Dallas has those games in hand, right? The Jets are 6-2-0 over the last 8 games. They're within 3 points of Dallas in the second wild card spot. What else could we say? The last game they played, they had a great game from start to finish. They totally dominated it. For Ottawa here, they're 1-5-0 in their last 6 games and have one of the league's lowest point totals. Yeah, you know what? They continue to be at least competitive. They're not winning, but it's the part that kind of gets me is they've been shut out 8 times so far this season. That's never a good stat to look at. Forsberg really, I think if it weren't for him, they'd be challenging Montreal, Seattle, and Arizona at the bottom. This guy was a good sign up that they brought into the fold. I'm going to take Winnipeg to win this game, though, 5-1. No shutout this night.
Here we go.
Great. San Jose and Edmonton. Talk about 2 critical points for Edmonton here, right? The Oilers had a chance. This is what I was alluding to earlier. They had a chance to actually match a very odd, obscure 77-year-old NHL record the other night at Dallas. The Oilers had won their first 21 games of the season in which they had scored first. And they opened up the scoring against the Stars, but allowed 2 goals in a span of 24 seconds late in the third, and then an empty netter to lose 5-3. And it also ended that streak that we talked about. It's good to see that in the Oilers' case, it isn't just about Draisaitl and McDavid. They're finally starting to get guys like Yamamoto chipping in. Of course, Eric Kane, I think, has been a very good addition ever since they picked him up. He's quietly amassing the points and giving him some of that offensive depth. Hyman continues to do his things. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins should be back after missing 11 games with a shoulder injury tonight as well. I think they're on the right track. They should have hopefully no problem here against San Jose. I'm going to take them to win 6-2. The only thing I'm questioning is why they're starting Smith tonight. I guess Kakinen has been in a little bit too much lately.
6-2, 5-2. About that, we'll go to changing the page, Mr. Notab. Take a note. I messed up the team, so we start with Nashville.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, okay, sure, no problem.
Right. Apologize.
Well, Well, Vegas has made the playoffs in each of their first 4 seasons in the league, and including that storybook run to the Stanley Cup Finals during their inaugural year, their draft year. But going into tonight's game, they're going to find themselves on the outside looking in terms of a playoff spot. When at the beginning of the year, we were pretty much picking them to either be first or second in the Western Conference, at least first in their division by many people. Vegas is just 2-7-0 over their last 9 games, and they were shut out in both games on its most recent 2-game road trip. They lost to Minnesota 3-0, and then they lost to Winnipeg 4-0. Just the second time in team history that the Golden Knights were shut out in back-to-back games, and they were both this year, actually. Vegas trails Nashville, which has played 2 fewer games by 6 points for the first wild card spot. And as I said before, Dallas, which has 4 games in hand, they trail them as well. So they're not in a good position. That whole issue with Dadonov is weighing on them. The cap space is weighing on them. They've got a lot of injured players right now. Now, Pacioretty is a game time decision for tonight. I'm sure we'll see him probably play. We know that Eichel's playing hurt as well with that hurt arm or wrist. Stone, he's practicing. So we'll see if very soon these guys are going to be in. It's going to be a case where these guys have to come in at some point. If they're not hurting too much and they don't risk getting hurt further, they've got to play hurt because they hadn't anticipated being in this position, and now they need their guns. But question is, when they do come in, who comes out? So either some creative accounting has to be done where maybe a couple players, because players can still be traded at this point, Coach. The only difference being if you get traded to another team, you can't play. You're not eligible for the postseason. So I could still see somebody like Dadonov, and maybe even there was talk about Riley Smith moving on. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm going to take. I still think Vegas is in a bad position. I'm going to take Nashville to win this game 4-1.
I don't know where I am right now. I should have Nashville somewhere else.
Up at the top, yeah.
I don't know why I put this there. Anyhow.
Okay.
What's the score? 4-1.
I had 4-1.
Yeah, I got one. By the way, Mr. Richard Mullen, can you give me the score for Kings? You just put Kings. You didn't put the score. So can you repeat your score? Thank you.
Okay, in our last game of the night, Chicago and LA. Again, not too much for Chicago in terms of significance in the standings. LA, it's huge. They still have a few problems there. The Kings and Blackhawks together combined to win 5 of 6 Stanley Cups from 2010 to 2015, but really neither team has won a playoff series since its latest title run. Now, the Kings are in a much better position today than the Hawks are, as we can see from the standings. LA sits in second place in the Pacific, 3 points ahead of the third place Oilers with 17 games left. Now, that's one thing that concerns me about LA is the fact that they have fewer games left than most other teams. The other thing that concerns me is their injuries, especially on defense. And I know they've pulled off a couple of very impressive wins after losing 3 out of 4, I believe it was. But still, it's actually 4 out of 6, I think it was, that they had lost. It's difficult to do on a night-to-night basis, especially now that the games start coming at you fast and furious. and they're, as Coach mentioned earlier, they're going to be played in a much different fashion than earlier on in the season. So I hope for the Kings' sake they can hang on to this. Yeah, I think if they were healthy, it would be a no-brainer. They'd be in there. I'm kind of a little bit on the fence with them. We've been talking about other teams being kicked out, but I don't know. Maybe we could see a drop in LA. We'll see. But I'm going to take LA though to win tonight against Chicago, and I'll make it a shutout, 3-0.
Awesome. Great job so far. Mr. Richard got your score. Everybody look like so far I'm good. Welcome back again, Blackhawks. And also Zev Lecav is with us tonight. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. So far, I have everybody in. I appreciate a lot. Let's go with the fantasy players of the night. The score right now, I took the lead from 3. So, Mr. ENORTAP, you are the first pick of the night.
Okay, so I'm going to take Edmonton and then Yossi and Hedman on defense, followed by Kaprizov, Draisaitl, and Huberdeau.
Awesome. So I took with Winnipeg tonight, and I believe that Edmonton scored 2 goals on power play, 2 assists for Barry. I believe Ekblad is now, Weger is going to take a spot. And then I have to match up Mr. ENORTAP. So I took Barkov, I took McDavid, and finally I go with Connor and Winnipeg.
Okay, and I'm going to go with 60 total goals.
60, right?
6-0, yeah.
I'll go with 58. Then go with Miller. That's where we're at that moment. We're going to bring everybody here. Look like we are here right now. I have all you Mr. Alan Bianco. I have also Ross. I save it. It's all good. I have all Nan. I got your record, your score. If Nan, you miss a couple of games at the beginning, I think you missed Montreal Canadian versus Florida. If you don't give it to me, Boston, Tampa Bay possible also. Just give it to us, and I will put back over there about that over. And I will go from there. Tommy said 64 for Tommy Meyer. Thank you so much. I appreciate a lot about that. And that's conclude another great show, Mr. ENORTAP. That was great to see everybody tonight. And we got, for the first time, Mr. ENORTAP, we reached another milestone.
Another one. Oh, nice.
40 likes.
What is it? 40. Amazing.
40 likes.
Congratulations,
everybody. Thank you so much. So we appreciate a lot. Richard Mullen is right. I have 59. Richard. Kelly, 55 goal. Fantasy is a corner about that one over there. So that's what we at. And then Boston, we have also 3-1 about that one over there. Thanks so much, Mr. Nan, about that. Mr. Nata, we forgot your entry for you're not going on breakaway tonight. No. You on the penalty box before the end of the OT, so you cannot take any shootout tonight. So he cannot play the shootout tonight. So that's what's happening about that one over there. We appreciate a lot. Thanks, everybody, to join us. Before we leave, Mr. Nata, we want to tell everybody, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate your help. We're going to be back in 5 minutes. We're going to go jumping for the Montreal Canadiens versus the Florida Panthers. I can't wait to see you, each one of you. Until then, Mr. Nata, I want to remind everybody, be well, be healthy. Find a way to not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate one, Mr. ENORTAP.
2022.
Here we go. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. Thank you so much.
What's going on now? Is this another breakdown?